Hello, this is J. David Davis with the Emmanuel Exploration Society, exploring the historical roots of man's faith and philosophy. I think you might find today's topic very interesting. We're going to talk about UFOs, or as they have renamed it, the unidentified aerial phenomena. It's just a repackaging to confuse people further. We're going to take a new way of looking at it from our world. Now, if you think this is a new concept, think again. I've mentioned to you in the past about a French philosopher, Voltaire. He's a 17th century guy. And here is what Voltaire had to say. If there's life on other planets, then the Earth is the universe's insane asylum. It's the universe's insane asylum. So that means we've got a lot of crazy people running around here. All right, now to think a little bit about UFOs, I'm going to give you a little background. UFOs have been a topic of discussion for years and years. It came into prominence primarily after World War II and the Roswell incident. It was written primarily at that day, they called it tabloids. Mainstream media stayed away from it. It was talked about, it was laughed about. No serious scholar would entertain anything about UFOs. In 1968, a man by the name wrote a book. Van Daniken was his name, by the way, Eric Van Daniken. He wrote a book called The Chariots of God. Subsequently, he wrote a number of books about UFOs, and because of his groundbreaking work, UFOs came out of the closet, so to speak, and began to be talked about openly. Now, I have friends today that totally write off UFOs as insanity. You're crazy if you believe in it. Then I have others that are on the exact opposite end that think if you don't believe in UFOs, you're crazy. So somewhere in between being crazy on the left and crazy on the right is where most of us live. Now, for many years, people talked about UFOs as some strange thing seen in the sky. As I said, some laughed at it, some believed, some people asked questions. Governments, scientists, and everyday people now are paying attention to UFOs. I will examine three different aspects of UFOs. You like the USOs? UFOs. All right. And we'll look at it from three different perspectives. And there will be follow-up videos on this because I want to go into a little bit more detail than we have in the past. We will look, first of all, why has government and institutions and others denied the fact that they are UFOs? Now, anyone that's alive today has to acknowledge that there's something going on. There's something existing. Now, in the last few months, since the government has begun releasing UFO files, and by the way, the stuff they have been releasing is garbage. It's nothing. You can go on the internet and get much better pictures and make sure they're not AI generated. But there's a lot more evidence out there than the government is releasing. We have had people, serious-minded people that work for the government that has come forward that state undeniably that they have seen the so-called aliens, that they have seen the aircraft or the spacecraft or whatever, and they have alleged that we have been involved in reverse technology since the 40s. So they say that there are at least 4 species of UFOs or aliens. They are the Nordics, the reptilians, the insectoids, and the grays. And we'll look at some ideas about each of these in the future broadcast. So the biggest reason that the government says that they will not release some files or acknowledged UFOs is from the theological side. They think that people will not be able to handle it. So I will begin talking about that in upcoming videos. But you have a basic foundation right now that there is something out there. Do you believe or don't believe? It's not a matter of belief for me. It's just examining the evidence. See, the Emmanuel Exploration Society, we explore. We don't draw conclusions. We don't drive things into you and try to make you believe. We just look at the evidence that's available and we go from there. Well, that's it. Till the next time, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you then.